Hey there, welcome everybody to the live stream. I'm so glad to have you joining me this week. I'm glad that you made it through daylight savings time and the time adjustment and made it here this evening. I am changing around my video or my camera angles tonight. I have been working most of today conducting a training, and so I had my studio kind of set up for a training session, a corporate training session, which is my kind of day job or one of my day jobs. And so I've had to quickly, as soon as that was done, run and rearrange my setup for tonight. I'm also trying something that I did at the very beginning of the live stream 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. I am using my phone as one of my camera feeds. I'm hoping it will give us a little better picture as I paint, a little better quality, because often there's glare on the canvas. And so I'm going to try that out, see if it works. And we'll just see what happens. But it's so good to have you joining tonight. Hi, Lola. Good to have you as always. So happy to see you, have you on the live stream. Okay, let's jump right in. Without further ado, I do need to say happy 60th. Happy 60th live stream. This is the 60th live stream that we've done in about a year and a half. I can't believe it that we've done this many. It doesn't seem possible, but I know I've painted at least 60 paintings, or I've started 60 paintings. There's a whole pile behind me. I debated actually this week if I should do an episode where I just kind of catch up and work on some of the ones that I've done before, but I decided to go ahead like we usually do and start a new one. But it's hard for me to believe that we've done 60 paintings. It doesn't seem possible, but definitely have done that many paintings, and it's been an exciting journey. I'm really excited about the next several months and years ahead as well. So that is super exciting. Woohoo! Yes, Lola, I think you've been here almost since the very beginning, maybe even the very beginning. I can't remember which episode was your first, but it's so good to have you as always. All right. If you have not caught up on Instagram, I posted a digital painting I did this week on Instagram. That is the place to catch all of my progress photos. So be sure to follow on Instagram. I also posted a new vlog this morning, so if that's something you're interested in, you can definitely check that out. You get to see some behind the scenes of like I said, my day job from my training this last week that I did. I posted some of that, as well as what else was on the vlog. Can't remember, but anyway, that is live on YouTube as well, so feel free to check that out. Okay. Let me put up the reference photo here. This is what we're going to be working on tonight. It's a beautiful fall painting, fall photo that I took this week. This is at Mount Roosevelt, which is there's a lookout tower and memorial right near where I live. Oops. That's not what I wanted to do. We'll go back there. We'll put this in. Mount Roosevelt. We'll just put that over the logo down there. Okay. So yeah, whoops, I need to come into frame. So Mount Roosevelt is a beautiful area. There's a beautiful hike up the mountains with views of the Black Hills in all directions. And my dad and I went up this last fall when the leaves were changing and captured some really amazing photos. I have not done very many, if any, maybe one or two kind of fall paintings, but this will be a challenge just because of the colors. They're different. The really bright yellows, oranges, rust colors. It's going to be a challenge, I think, for me this time. So, hi there, Mom and Dad. So good to see you. Glad to have you join via Facebook. You can join in the conversation wherever you are, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, wherever you find us, even LinkedIn, I believe. Feel free to chime in the comments. This live stream is pretty laid back. It's just kind of open house. Pop in, pop out, say hello, join the conversation. Feel free to ask questions as well as comment as I go through the evening and the painting. All right, let me switch over to the camera. Let's try this one. There we are. There's my phone camera, and that will give us a good, let me adjust this a little bit and slide you all. There we go. There we go. There we go. Whoops. Want to make sure that is within view. Okay. I think that's a pretty good view of the canvas. It's hard for me to tell because it's on a little bit of a delay, but we'll see. If it gets too glitchy or if it doesn't work, oh, I have to show you all. Hold on, I might make you motion sick. Welcome, welcome to those of you that are joining. We're just getting started. So glad to have you. I'm going to move the camera. Let me show you what I got this week. Ta-da! A rack for my paint. I've been saying that forever. Oh, I need to build something. I need to build something. But I found this on Amazon. It's actually, I think, a jewelry display case. It doesn't hold all of my painting or all of my paint, but I might get another one. But it has my main greens, my yellows, and then on the other side, I have the main paints I use for my browns and blues and white, of course. So kind of a cool thing. Oops. There we go. I moved too rapidly and the camera didn't like that. So I have my paints accessible to me, but they're not falling all over the place and just piled up on my workspace. So let's jump in and do a really quick kind of sketch of what we kind of are composition, get a feel, lay in our sketch just a little bit. All right, all right, all right. We'll take some burnt umber and just kind of draw in our sketch. So let's put our horizon kind of right in there. This is our path. We want it ending here, coming up across here, leading us into the painting. So we want it to come kind of there. And disappear back in here. This will be our, we'll have some shadows back in here and our light spots. And we'll have here just to kind of lay in some of this. Just doing rough shapes, nothing really too strategic, just kind of the rough areas. Hi there, how are ya? Thanks for popping in. I hope you're doing well and school's going well. This is our tree. This will all kind of, we want this a little off center. This will all get covered by sky. Okay. That kind of gives us a rough sense. These are the trees, these are bushes. back in here. Okay. There, we have our composition laid out. So, since my phone is using, or I'm using my phone as a camera, I'm going to take some photos just on the iPad here, some we'll take some progress photos. Okay, this is kind of laying out our rough sketch of what we're going to do. Now, what we're going to do is lay in, because I want to let this dry. I'm going to eventually have to cover that with sky, but I want to start putting in more of this because I don't really need that ooh, I didn't need that much brown. Yeah, let me turn that around so you can kind of see. I'm doing some raw umber and some ultramarine blue, which are, if you'll remember, those are basically our blacks. That creates our blacks. And then the white, I want some white. I want to create the kind of rough underpainting for the path. Oop. There we go. Just a second. I saw Bob G ask if I was painting tonight. Let me see if I can message him real quick. I don't know why my phone keeps glitching out. Sorry about that. There it goes. It's the Wi-Fi, I think. Let's see. I think this camera's better, but it doesn't, if it's always glitching out, it may not be a good deal. All right, well, I sent him a message on Facebook, so hopefully Bob G will join us. Can find... Dad just walked in the room and immediately said, I reckon, yes, this was our walk earlier this fall, Dad. Good eye, good eye. Okay, I'm going to mix some of this raw umber and some blue to create kind of a black color. And then I'll introduce some white. That'll give us a gray, kind of a grayish tone. And that'll give us a good underpaint for the path. We'll just start kind of putting that in. Just start to cover up some of this canvas. All right. Mix some more of that. Just a dab of each. Okay, we see a little bit of it up there. It's a little more blue now. I do like the quality of the camera on my phone, so I might have to figure out how to, may just have to invest in better live streaming cameras. I think it shows more real, because I always struggle with the color and the autofocus and all that. So, all right, now what I'm going to do is take a little brown and blue, get kind of a darker color, and put in kind of the edge of this along here. You'll notice that there's kind of a shadow that goes in there. So we'll just kind of put that in. There's shadow over in here. Shadow all through this area. So we'll put some of the just dark spots in there. This will be covered with brown and highlights, but we want to get some of that shadow color in there. Up here, there's quite a bit of shadow. Some shadow in there. Okay, the thought process I changed midstream. What I think I can do, or what I'm attempting to do, is put some of the shadow and form in this tree over here and in the woods. And then I'll come back and tuck in the sky, basically. I'll paint the sky over this, but this will give us some kind of feeling of that tree there. We will see if that works as a strategy. Okay. Now what I think I want to do is take some of this sienna, a little bit of brown, and I'm just going to kind of put in some of these highlight spaces, maybe put a little bit of white in there, because we have highlights right in there where the sun is hitting. So we'll put some sunlight, sun patches. I'm just covering brown because even if that shows through, it's not going to hurt anything. So that's kind of my thought process here. Just cover this with some brown. This is where, and then we'll go obviously put more color in. The bright yellows, and this way, as we build up the darkness, shadows and different shades, we'll have various levels of value change in the under painting. And then what will happen is when we put our highlights on, we won't have to put a lot of detail, because once we start adding color, then we really start to put not only layers, but it gives us some three-dimensionality, or the illusion of 3 dimensions. Okay. Well, we have kind of the canvas at least partially covered. It's not really exactly what I want, but it basically is. Okay, I'm gonna come now and add some raw sienna, which is a little bit more of a red brown, and I think it will be more interesting. Oh, I can't tell you all how nice it is to pull the paint off of the little tabs, or I don't know, the little hangers, and put the paint back on the hangers in its proper place. It's so nice to be able to keep things a little more organized. It just makes me happy. It's the little things, y'all. It's the little things. Okay, so I'm mixing this raw sienna down here on the bottom of your screen. It looks kind of red. So let me take another progress photo, if I may, just so I kind of get this as it is developing. Good deal. Okay, I'm going to use the raw sienna to put in some color there to allude to the bushes and to the sun, where the sun is falling. We'll lighten that up. It's funny how light this looks up next to all of that when it's really not that light. But next to the dark, it really looks light. So we'll do some of that. Here, we need to come in even brighter. We'll have to add some yellow, but for now, we'll just put white and diffuse it a little bit so that there's some suggestion of different colors there. All right, now we need some, right in here, some bright. The sun is really cutting through. It's cutting a little bit in here. Definitely a spot in there. And some dappled stuff in there. Okay, so we have a rough sketch of where our sun is going to be. Then what we can do is brighten this all the way up. Take some. Okay. Now let's give that a minute to breathe. And we'll go straight to our cerulean blue. Some cerulean blue. I want just, I think, a tad of the, there. All right. We'll give it a little of that. It's just that really saturated blue. There's not a cloud in the sky. That's the feel I want. So we will go with that. Let me raise this up so take hopefully the shadow off there. That bright cerulean blue is just so beautiful. Once you start to put it in, it gives that feeling of that day. So bright. So bright. So bright. So bright. And we'll just kind of put in some sky around these trees. We'll have to do several coats as usual of this one, but that's all right. We'll do, just get that sky in there, cover up the canvas a little bit. I can still see the tree underpainting, which may turn out to bite me in the end, but I'm not too worried about it. Now, as we get closer to the, what I want to do that's not in the reference photo, but I definitely want to do it here, is I want to put a lighter, the light is coming from the left-hand side. And remember what we said about light. The sky always gets darker the further it is away. It's lighter as it gets closer to the horizon, because you're looking through more of the atmosphere down here. So once we get some like this colored in blue, what I really want to do, even before it's all dry, is go back and kind of give it that. It's a subtle thing, but it's something that our brains see, I think. At least now that I know it. And I want to include that. So I want to make it subtly lighter or less saturated at the horizon line and darker up there. But the blue, I love the blue. Okay, so let's take some more of this phthalo blue and we'll darken, see the gradient. It's not a lot, but it's some more, just the phthalo blue. And I want to bring it in over here, especially, and along the top of the painting. I want to bring more of that dark phthalo blue down. So I want this darker, a little bit darker. This corner and across the top. I want it more of that really deep, kind of dark blue. And as we get closer to the horizon, we of course get lighter. It's drying really fast tonight, so, and I don't want to pull, I'm pulling some of the paint off. So I want to take some white into the blue, diffuse it a little bit, maybe just a smidge of the yellow here. Bring this down here and start bringing it up, especially in this corner. Yeah, it's really, I know I said that last time, it's drying quick. So I want it lighter down by the horizon. Hey there, Bob. It's on YouTube. I don't know why it wasn't showing up. I'm glad you found us on Facebook. I would have texted you back, but I'm trying something different and using my phone as the video feed, so I wasn't able to text because I'm using it as a camera. So I'm glad you found us. All right. So we'll bring, again, the lightest values down here into the sky on this corner or this side of the painting to subtly indicate that the sun is coming from this direction. Oops. So we'll do that, and then as we go, this is tacking up really quick. There. We'll take it in. There we go. We'll do another layer and blend this in better, but it's basically that's what we're going for, that it's lighter, closer to the horizon and on this left-hand side, and then darker up above. I don't want to mess with that sky anymore. It's kind of a mess right now, but that will give us a all right. Now let's go back to the drawing board here. And what we want to do now is put in some want to put some of our yellows in, but I think what I want to do first is put in an underpainting. So we'll just kind of build up. Like I said, this is the first time I think I've done a fall scene. So we'll kind of take that with some of the, we'll mix in the yellow ochre, some of the, and we'll start putting in some of this color. We got to be careful. We can't go too much into the sky till it gets really, or you start to get muddy with what they in oil painting call, you get mud, which means the blue with the yellow mixes, and then you kind of get a awkward green color. So, all right, kind of do some, again, just suggesting where the sun is hitting. I don't know what I'm doing as usual, but my goal is that this will build up layers that, or my thought is if I build up layers, then I can do additional, it will be more realistic in the end. So hopefully that's true. We shall see. We shall see. That's still a little tacky. So trying to decide what to do next. I'm going to step back and take a look as I do this. Okay. Yeah, that's still tacky to the touch, and of course this is. I wonder if I can start to do a little bit, not detail work, but if I can do some finishing work here. I'm going to try to go into these areas and see if I can just define this a little bit. It's a little too red. I think actually I'll put some shadows back in there. Just the suggestion of some bushes in here. Put a little green on the palette. Take a little of that in there. All right. There's just kind of these darker spots where the sun doesn't reach. We'll just keep adjusting this as we go. There's a little bit of I tend to go too light, so overdoing this on the shadows I don't think is a problem, because we can easily blend it in and put light around it, if that makes sense. Okay. Down here in the corner. And up here in the woods, this is dry. So now I'm going to take some of that, just mixing kind of a muddy green, yellow, brown mixture. I'm going to start again putting in my kind of shadow spots right at the horizon. Establish those again, some of those. And I'm just being not very intentional at all in the mixing, mixing different, not trying to mix the same colors at all, just so that there is kind of a natural difference in some of these forms and the shadows around them. We'll just basically kind of just keep carving out as we go. This is mixing a little more blue and darker brown, some green. Suggest that tree in there. Almost doing this completely random. Trying to be very intentional about not going too bright, too fast. That's kind of my only intention. Again, my intent is to keep this. You'll notice that my brush strokes are super loose. I'm just kind of like scribbling almost to kind of give the feeling. It's almost like an impressionist style. What this does is it builds up of course, layers and like the brush strokes show through, but you get a whole bunch of, it's kind of tedious because there's nothing happening. But then I hope, or the plan is that then at the end you put in some, you put in some detail work, and all of a sudden all these layers come together and it makes sense and it renders correctly. But I'm just definitely doing a very scribbled kind of style, just saying, oh, let's put that in there. Just kind of really playing with this. Again, I'm learning as I go, so it's all not all experimentation, but it's experimentation of, and by doing kind of these scribbled strokes, it looks semi-organic, sort of like trees, even though it's not trees yet, or not specific. And then again, I keep repeating myself, I think, but the goal is then you put in a few leaves and it looks like the trees are, or it looks like more detail than's actually there. I'm just doing, again, really fast scribble strokes because I like this color that I came up with. It's kind of a diffused red, yellow, brown. And so I am using that to my advantage to suggest the highlights on this tree that sticks up into the sky. Notice there's just form. Like there's no real detail. They're just scribble strokes. But this allows me to test my raising of the values little by little. Okay, let's go back. Take it dark again. Just take some yellow now. Okay. Mixing in this weird kind of green. It's gonna I'm kind of enjoying this kind of really loose painting style, so I'm just going to keep going with it. And see where we end up. All right, let me do some more. I think I'm going to do some more yellow ochre. So I haven't even gone into real like cad yellow yet, which is, I think, good. It's really bright though. All right, we have about an hour to shape this baby up. Okay, we have some kind of bright yellow in here. I want to keep most of the yellows up here in the sky, I think, and then most of the brownish reds, the lighter brownish reds down on the ground. So it's just building up. And I am really liking this loose brush stroke that's not very photorealist at all. Like, I think it's communicating just fine, and so I like that, and I think I'm going to continue just to see what happens. It's kind of like, if you all remember the painting I did of Machu Picchu. I don't think I did it on a live stream, but I posted on Instagram. It's much looser brush strokes and not very detailed at all. Okay, let's take a minute and start to put in. This sky is much more full than my reference photo, which is okay. I'm going to step back though from it. What do you guys think of my phone as the camera? I see a few more people have come on to the live stream. Welcome, welcome, no matter where you're watching from. Glad to have you. I think this camera is working much better from the standpoint of giving you a more accurate view of what I'm painting in front of me, because the camera is not constantly adjusting to the light. It is just showing you actually what's there. So you're getting a much, much more accurate view of the colors that are on my canvas. Okay. Actually, I'm going to now put on some cad yellow, some green. What I want to do is flesh in this big tree because I have been not avoiding it, but I have not been focused on it. Okay. I can't tell you how happy this paint stand makes me, y'all. Why did I wait so long? I looked before on Amazon and didn't see anything, but I don't know if I didn't look in the right place or didn't search for the right thing, but having an organized workspace just makes me so happy. Okay, now I have kind of this green off here that you see me mixing, kind of a green blue or green yellow. It's the highlight, so I'm going to come in and start kind of just making some shape suggestions for this tree. I'm going to take it off the canvas so it's taller because we're going to keep the brightest colors out here off to the left-hand side. This is where the biggest highlights or the brightest highlights. Over here, there's some where the sun is hitting some branches and on the back side of the tree. But we'll just kind of do that. And then over here, there's just not enough. It's like there's not enough canvas for all these shapes. So okay, I like that. All right, now what we need to do is come back with some dark blue, and I'm going to mix some green with it here. Maybe a little brown to give us the green, the deep green color underneath. Then we'll do the exact same thing over here. I think this is working, but the other way wasn't bad either. Thanks, Richie. Yeah. It just seems like I was constantly, not constantly, but I was often turning off the light to try to get you all a better view of what I was doing. So that's what made me think maybe it was a better deal here. may have to work this one again, but I'm going to establish some more of this shadow along here. Yeah, when you put in contrast, all of a sudden you see light. When you put in shadow, you see light. Yeah, we'll just bring some of this darker shadow forward down here into the corners, just to subconsciously guide our eye up the path. Little bit, little bit, little bit. All right, all right, all right. We'll do some more shadow work. A little bit darker up in here. Almost just using my reference photo really as just a guide. Because now I'm just kind of just mixing as I go, mixing as I go. Little yellow, little green. See what pops up over here. Over here on the right side of my palette, I'm mixing the burnt umber with some yellow ochre to create kind of a yellow-brown color. But instead of diffusing it with the white, I'm using the yellow ochre, because then I can come in here and do the same kind of some more layers in this tree, because we have the bright yellow, but then I can, with very few strokes, I can suggest some form there. Getting a little full. I think I'm gonna switch out my plate. But now that I have room, I can actually just, whoa, even with my paint thing, one of my paints went teetering off the edge. That's all right. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna put the other one right there, but I'm gonna put some burnt sienna, or burnt umber, I mean, and some yellow ochre. I think I'm gonna have to go to town and get some more paints. Notice several are running light. Okay. I want that. Under here we have kind of this bright place where the sun is peeking through. So we're going to put some sun in there, a few sparkles of sun down here. The first one was a lake that I painted all the ripples in the water. Yeah, I think that is the one that's right behind my canvas. I think you're right. I remember that was one of the first ones where I was like, oh, I'm learning something. Like, this is cool. It actually looks like what it's supposed to look like. And I was quite excited to realize, oh, I know kind of, not what I'm doing, but like, I know what I'm doing in a sense. Now I'm getting a little more precise on the forms I've made over here. So I'm doing just small little leaf dots basically to try to give this tree has come way out in, but that's fine, to give the perception. I am just now putting some cad yellow, which is this color, onto the canvas. So, and it's still mixed with a little brown. So that's what's kind of amazing to me, because by controlling how dark I went or how bright, that allows me to kind of be more precise now, or more specific. And just a few, leaf dots all of a sudden look really bright because of what's around them. Okay, I think part of what I need to do now is take one of my really thin brushes, and I need to take my dark blue, brown, and establish some of my branches. This will help me connect the leaves. So I need to put a very start to draw in the shadows of these shadow edges of these trunks. I really like the dog one with the glasses. Yeah, he was definitely cute. Favorite is the piano keys. I really love the piano. The piano keys are up right there in the studio, and I have a blown up print of the piano keys in my living room. I really like that as well, but I didn't know if anybody else really did, so I thought, well, I can enjoy it. But I like exploring. The piano keys was a chance to kind of explore something that wasn't particularly obviously not the true to life. It was kind of an imaginative, creative painting because no keys are green and purple. But I think the painting worked for sure. I don't know if I'm making this better or worse, but definitely gives a feeling that there's something holding this tree together. I need to also try to do the, let me see if I can get this one any better. I just did a quick swipe with my brush earlier to suggest the trunk, and that's what became the trunk. But I think I want to get it. Zombie keys. Remember the zombie dog? I think it's still laying around here somewhere when I did it really well. And then I was like, oh, let me change colors. And then it was like, oh no, that did not work. That was an experiment that did not work. Yeah, that was funny. But unless you try, you never know. I got approached to do a charity painting for an orangutan charity in August. So I think I'm going to do that, but I'm not sure whether I want to do, an orangutan as it is. I suppose I'll ask the organization if they want kind of a true to life type painting, or if I can do a more creative, because I thought it'd be cool to do like an orangutan, but like with some unique colors or some different kind of more modern style. But I don't know. It's going to be auctioned off, so I want something that people will be incentivized to purchase. I don't want to go off the deep end. but I thought it might be fun to do something unique. So we'll see. I'll see what they say. All right, I'm taking this dark color now and just putting in some kind of pine needle looking branch strokes here on this darker side of this tree, just to build up some of this. Again, going for it to look more layered and more three-dimensional is the goal as we go. All right. We got a good start for that. Now, I want to do the light side of the trunk. So I'm going to take a little white and a little burnt sienna, or burnt umber. I always say burnt sienna. Brighten it up with a little yellow. Just there. Okay, now let's take this over and put some highlights where the sun is peeking through on this trunk. There's a few. Whoops, I need to be super careful up here. Just where it catches a little bit of the light. Okay, and then we'll come over here, do the same for these trees, because these are the kind of aspen trees and we want them to stand out for sure. Their trunks stand out pretty dramatically. All right, that gives us a little definition that, or depth, just those little details, gives us a little sense of depth. I'm mixing some green and some yellow down here because I'm going to go in now with kind of that bright greenish yellow, and I'm going to do just a few bright spots, a few leaves here that are reflecting the sun in the foreground. That will help give us some, again, some, I just need a couple of leaves, not a whole lot, but we want some a variety of colors and shapes. Do some suggestion of some grass here. Here where this Hey, John. So good to have you. Thanks for popping in. Thanks for the feedback. Just a little, just trying to kind of figure out what I'm doing. little by little. The further back I get, well, even up front, I'm being very loose with the brush strokes. Again, just trying to create a suggestion of the leaves and the shape so that it looks more looks better at a distance maybe than up close, or it looks more real at a distance, and up close looks more sort of impressionist. When do classes start? I am still figuring this out, so I don't think I'm in any position to... I'm a great cheerleader, and I'm a great advocate for sharing my experience and saying, you go for it too. But trying to teach somebody, I'm not quite there yet. Or teach other people. Maybe at some point I will. I'm sure at some point I will. But I don't know that I really want to. I used to be a teacher and I love teaching, but I don't know that I want to teach art. It's still just an absolute creative joy for me and escape. And I don't know that I really want to make it into any sort of job kind of environment. I'm more interested in exploring myself and figuring out things and trying new things for myself. That's my interest. Okay, now I want to try something brand new. Something brand new, not brand new, but new-ish to me. That's, like I said, I want to explore. Oh, and we're coming to the end, and I am not done. I'm not ready to be done. But I'm going to try something. I'm going to take this lemon yellow and see what this does. It's really bright, almost like a neon yellow. So I'm going to put maybe a little bit of cad yellow with it. Just mix it up really bright. Lemon yellow. And I'm taking my brush that is supposed to be for doing this type of work for trees and bushes and things. Okay, now I wonder if I can come up on here and do some really bizarre, well, not bizarre, but oops, nope, it's just too mushy. I'm just tapping the canvas now just to see if I can create a feeling of trees and texture without painting individual leaves. Okay, let's do this and see. I think I can. I'm liking what's happening. Oh, yes. I can shape this. I like this lemon yellow. Few taps of this brush. The lemon yellow gives me a whole another layer of what's going on back here. Ooh, that's kind of cool, y'all. I like it. It would be fun time to do a group thing with painting and mini bottles. There are actually people who have businesses like that where you can go and paint a picture or paint a painting and imbibe. But and people around town have asked me if I would do a class like that. But again, I just have really no interest in doing it. Maybe someday I'll have an interest in it, but I just don't really have that interest right now. So I don't do it. But you never know. Okay. Well, I don't want to go overboard. I really need to be careful because it's starting to look symmetrical. Meaning it's starting to, whoops. Starting to look, not look unorganic. So that may be too bright, but I think I will go put texture in here with this same technique. This just gives us all kinds of highlights and makes things recede into the background, which is cool. So all right. I think the white may be too bright, or the white yellow, but it will dry darker because it's acrylic. And when I come back, I'll be able to see that we are up against the clock, y'all. So we are going to call it a day. For this one, I'm going to take one final picture of how it is now. I really want to work more because I wanted to work on the path some more, but we are at a stopping point. So therefore, or a stopping time, and I have to get up early in the morning and do some work, and then I'm training tomorrow afternoon as well. So I think it is smart to take a break here and keep working on this at another time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Great base with that yellow. Yeah, it's coming together, so that is good. All right, let me switch cameras here. Turn that off and there, so I can move my phone camera. I do like the phone camera. I might continue with that, I think, because it just seems like it really gives you all a better photo or a better idea of the colors. So this is what we've come up with. This is a good start for tonight. It still needs some detail work like most of my paintings. It will be in the pile, but this one I think is a nice one I want to keep working on, along with the one I did last week with the kind of foggy valley. I think it's sitting here. This one we started last week. I want to keep working on this because I think there's a lot of potential here, even more than this one I'm working on right now. And so I want to keep working on this. I might actually finish this one with more detail work and then frame it because it's just beautiful. So, oh, and I forgot. They're just piling up everywhere, y'all. I forgot we did this one several weeks ago. I haven't come back to it. So lots of paintings to finish up here. But I want to say thank you so much for your time tonight. Thank you for being with me these last 60 episodes. Those of you that joined early on. And I'm excited to continue this, to see where it goes. Not only the live stream, but more importantly, my own development and journey. And I'm so glad to have you all along for the ride. I think I will be here next Monday. I have a lot of traveling coming up in the next month, so I may have to postpone or cancel 1 or 2 live streams, but for the most part, I'll be here Monday, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. You can catch all of the the progress photos for my paintings on Instagram, and that's the best place to catch. Also, my digital paintings that I work on the iPad throughout the week, I post those with the time lapses typically on Instagram as well. You can catch here on YouTube not only my live stream, but my weekly vlog as well as additional time lapses. So whatever content you're interested in on YouTube, you can catch all of that here. I think that's it. Yeah, I will see you next week, Monday night. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you next time.